Hello everybody, and I'm here today to do my official review on the Mezco Ultimate Godzilla, which is, as you guys can see, from the Heisei era. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this dude is pretty freaking amazing, and I'm going to show you guys what all he can do, what's so special about him, the light up features and all of that stuff and everything. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know the reason why I have the Godzilla box on the right and the King Kong box on the left there is because I do also have the Mezco Ultimate King Kong, as you guys can tell from the box right there, and I plan on doing a side-by-side comparison of the two just to show how they measure up to one another. So alright, let's get into it and show off what all this guy can do. So, first of all, his face looks pretty doggone amazing. The camera doesn't really do his eyes justice a whole lot, to be perfectly honest with you, but they are very realistic looking eyes. I'm a big fan of them. Look at the detail there in the mouth and on the teeth. Very, very nice. His mouth opens and closes like that. The sensor for all of his sounds is on top of his head right there. I'm going to show that off later, and I'm actually going to turn off all the lights so that you guys can see, like, his dorsals light up, the light that goes off in his mouth and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's move on. So he has 10 points of articulation. Obviously, articulation number 1 is the mouth right there. And then his head spins from side to side. It just, doesn't move up or anything like that. It just spins from side to side. He has movement right here in his arms. They move about that high or something like that, and they spin around. He's kind of clunky, not going to lie, but, he'll loosen up the longer that you have him and all of that kind of stuff. His wrists rotate around. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know that he is going to have some plastic in between, like, his hand and the wrist right here. So you will have to remove his hand to get that plastic out of there. And let me tell you, trying to pull these hands out was no easy feat. So, just throwing that out there. But yeah, that wrist and that arm does the same thing. He does not rotate here at the waist. It looks like maybe they had thought about having him rotate at the waist at one point, and then they decided not to, or that's just where they simply decided to join the two pieces together. I wish they would have done a better job at hiding that, because it is kind of obvious that, it was separate pieces. So his legs right here move. They just pretty much go forward and backwards and all that. And then he also has articulation down here at his knees. Does a pretty good job at hiding it. No articulation down here at his ankles, though his feet do look very, very nice. I do like the details of the feet. The dorsals are very, very detailed. I like them. Like, it looks great. One thing that surprised me about his tail is that his tail is, to an extent, posable. Because whereas the rest of him is made out of that hard plastic, his tail is actually made out of rubber. Very, very squishy, as you guys can tell. And it is slightly posable. So yeah, not too bad in that regard. Disregard that Mondo Space Godzilla box. I just have it there to block some things that's on the table here. Alright, so let's get to the part that I'm sure some of you were waiting on. I'm going to turn off the lights and show you guys how well his dorsal plates light up. Again, I will say the sensor to activate all of the sounds and everything is right here on top of his forehead. You're just going to simply put your finger or your hand over it and hold it there, and he will make different sounds. His tail actually disconnects right here. You'll just twist it and then pull it out, and it's actually in his tail where you put the batteries for the lights and all that. You will need a screwdriver to be able to access the batteries, and there is an on and off switch inside the tail as well. Okay, so all lights are actually off inside the room. We do have just a little bit of light coming in through a window, but that's not enough to really hinder this. So yeah, I'm going to put my hand up on his head to activate the lights. There we go. Nice roar. The dorsals light up. He has more features. That's his mock atomic breath, if you guys couldn't figure that out. Okay, and that pretty much does it for all of his sound effect features and things like that. Once he sits for, I believe it's 10 seconds, and there's no, you're not triggering the sensor on his head, his dorsals will light up. It's like 3 to 5 times or something like that, pretty much just indicating that it is going into rest mode. I do not know if that still like drains the battery or anything, so your best bet to save on your batteries would just be to simply unscrew the tail right here, and yeah, just hit the off switch, and yeah, you can pretty much have him be a nice shelf piece. So now I'm going to put him up side by side with my Mezco Ultimate King Kong. See, there it goes. They're lighting up, so I guess maybe it was about 30 seconds or so. But I'm going to put him side by side with my Mezco Ultimate King Kong, and we'll see how they stack up against one another. All right, so we have the Mezco Ultimate Godzilla Heisei era, and matching up against him is my Mezco Ultimate King Kong. They pair up together really, really nice. I'm not going to lie. The Kong, surprisingly, is actually bigger. Like, I know they seem kind of about the same size on the camera. It's really not doing it justice. The Kong is significantly larger than the Godzilla. The tail really helps out with Godzilla, but yeah, it's a pretty noticeable size difference between the two. But now I also have a 2014 big Godzilla, and I'll put him next to him to see how they stack up against one another. So yeah, I've had this Godzilla for, a good amount of years. I pretty much got him right when the 2014 Godzilla film came out, and as you guys can see, he is significantly larger than the Mezco Godzilla. But if I had to say which one I like more, it's definitely this guy right here because of the sound effects. And I'm not gonna lie, I do like the design of the Heisei era Godzilla far more than I do the legendary Godzilla. But yeah, I mean, they stack up against one another. They stack up against each other pretty doggone good. And then just for the heck of it, here's all 3 of my big kaiju all next to each other. I'm very proud of these 3. I'm not gonna lie, the King Kong is probably my favorite kaiju collectible that I have, just because I'm a big King Kong fan. But this Heisei Godzilla right here, he's a close second. So, all right, guys, that pretty much does it for my review of the Ultimate Mezco Godzilla. Not gonna lie, he's pricey. Like, so get ready to drop some money on him. I mean, I got him from the Big Bad Toy Store, and he was after everything was said and done, taxes, shipping, all of that kind of stuff, he was right at $500. He is not cheap. So, if you do want him, just be prepared to drop some money on him. And I would recommend going on ahead and getting him if you're thinking about it, because the longer he's out here, the more he could potentially become a collectible, like a collector's item. And, he may be much more expensive in the future. That King Kong that I'm showing, whenever he was first released, like whenever this King Kong was first released back in the day, he was only like $250, something like that, upon his first release. And now to get this Kong right here, go look on eBay. You see him listed for 400, 500, some are like $600 or something like that. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, you never know what's going to happen with this guy. He might skyrocket. His price might skyrocket. So if you're thinking about getting him, I would definitely go ahead and pull the trigger on it. But alrighty, guys, here's one last look at now my 2 favorite kaiju collectibles. You know, definitely recommend getting both of these guys, but you know, the Godzilla is really, really cool. I'm glad I added him to the collection. So, all right, that pretty much does it for my review. So we'll catch y'all next time.